Well, heavy rains have caused significant damage to roads around Gauteng. With the prospect of even more heavy rain this week, all road users are being urged to be vigilant and careful. EMS Spokesperson Mulaudzi is with us to share some advice and warnings. Good evening to you and welcome. It's lovely to have you with us, and I'm glad that you are ready for any eventuality.
Yes.
But it is quite concerning when there's inclement weather, particularly when there is driving rain. What are some of your biggest concerns for all road users?
Yeah, we are really concerned about, especially about our residents who are in our low-lying areas. Mostly will be our residents in our informal settlements, since we know that most of them are already residing along a flood line. So even if we get an hour rainfall, you will normally have flash flood in those areas. So that is firstly the area which we are concerned of. And also our motorists out there, they need to exercise caution as they drive, because maybe some of the areas might be flooded. You know, those roads, they need to avoid crossing those roads which are flooded, and also bridges, to avoid situations where vehicles might be swept away. We know mostly the motorists who normally give us challenges are, you know, taxis and buses. Mostly they're ferrying a lot of passengers inside the buses. You mostly respond to incidents where you find that the bus is stuck, maybe just across a bridge, or a taxi is stuck across the bridge with maybe 15 to 16 passengers inside, which might be very much dangerous. So those are some of the challenges we come across. And of course also the accidents, the number of accidents tend to increase. The good part also is that so far we have not yet received any fatalities in the motor vehicle accidents which you have responded to from this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite harrowing. The interesting thing, Robert, is that we've had issues of inclement weather. It happens seasonally in South Africa. Yeah. You're always on the program or on other programs and platforms saying, don't approach, even if the water looks as if it might be shallow enough for you to approach, don't do that. If a bridge is flooding, rather hesitate and go in another direction. But people don't listen. Talk to us specifically about underestimating the volume of water that you might want to be crossing over.
Yeah, it's very important for our motorists to be, cautious as and when they drive, because sometimes you won't even see. You can also underestimate like the level of water which you're trying to cross. You don't know inside there might be a pothole or something along that route, whereby as you are driving, your vehicle might be actually goes into a ditch, and then from there, the whole vehicle might be swept away. We've had a number of incidents which we have responded to in the past, where people underestimate, the current of the water also, and also, water, flooded bridges, where you find that motorists who are normally driving vehicles which are much more higher, they will want to take a chance to cross those areas. So hence we try and make sure that we use social media platform, radios, and the platforms like this to urge them to exercise caution as and when they drive. So our message will be, if maybe you are driving and if you get caught in a storm, firstly we encourage you to maybe park on the other side of the road, try and wait for the rain to subside, and you can continue. If it happens that you drive, across a stream and you get caught, of course you need to make sure that you try and climb on top of the vehicle, so that maybe along that time you can be able to call us as emergency services to be able to, arrive.
So put your windows down and get on top of the car or the bus.
So that you can be able to delay that process for us to come. But we don't encourage motorists to do that. The best way it will be not to even try and take a chance to go through that. And then also in our informal settlements, we know that there's lots of sort of bridges which people do, like your man-made bridges, where they will use wooden materials to try and erect a bridge to cross on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. So mostly of our informal settlements, we've got river streams. Like if you look at Alexander, around Sweta, residents are coming from another area to another area on a day-to-day basis. Right. If you look at areas like Kaya Sand, we've got a stream which is cutting across. You look at areas like Kliptown, there's also a stream. So residents are on a day-to-day basis crossing those areas, and in most of the cases you find that they get stuck in between while they're trying to cross, because right now the water levels are much more higher. Hence we're doing our best to make sure that we inform them about the dangers. I mean, already we have got residents along Jackskay, Sweta. You have had a number of incidents which you yourself as a media you have reported on. So the river bank itself is moving closer to some of the households, which might be dangerous if we get a lot of rain over the weekend. Hence, we have done our best to interact with our residents in those areas using our public education officials to educate our residents about the dangers of residing along those areas.
So, Robert, they go to communities where there is a risk of being caught up in floods or severe soil and bank erosion. Is to tell people rather evacuate, move away.
Yes.
The ideal is that people don't build there, but unfortunately with overcrowding and all sorts of other factors, you are still seeing those settlements being created in those vulnerable areas. So that outreach work continues. Very happy to hear about that. What about other work that you're doing operationally to try and manage the possibility of a spike in incidents?
Yeah, from our side we've got specialized teams which normally respond to water-related emergencies, like the Swift Water Rescue Team, of which we're happy that overnight we have not yet received any major. I think the only incident which we can speak about now, there was an incident in one of the hostels in Soweto, Nansfield Hostel, where some of the households were affected by the floods overnight, of which we managed to intervene there together with the other stakeholders of the city, from infrastructure, Department of Infrastructure, to make sure that that area is taken care of. So, and also all our service fire stations throughout the city, they are fully operational. We've got our disaster management monitoring teams in all 7 regions of the city, especially monitoring those areas which are much more vulnerable. So we're hoping that working together with our residents, we should be able to prevent any maybe further incidents which might occur overnight. Can
the community get involved? I mean, are you looking for volunteers, people to help? How can people get involved if they want to help?
We normally take in a strategy now. It's good that you have raised that point. Prevention is the future, as the emergency services to say we want to empower our communities. So communities don't have to wait for us to invite them. We've got centers, we call them Be Safe centers, where residents are invited to come, and get trained in terms of, disaster, community-based disaster awareness, life and fire safety educational programs. They are trained not only to deal with water-related emergencies, but it can be fire safety and any other programs which empower them to be able to take care of situations before we even arrive as emergency services. They can be able to call us on central reservation number, which is 011-758-5000. That is the number which they can call. We've got these centers throughout the city of Johannesburg from region A to G. They are also able to invite us, be it under a tree, in a church, in a tavern, community hall, wherever they want us to come, because we've got a public education unit which is where you have got men and women who normally go out to communities. So they can call us on that number. If it's a street committee or a CPF, a group of people in a community who wants to be trained in this kind of programs, we're able to train them without charging them, because at the end of the day, we've taken a strategy to say we have to empower our communities to make sure that our communities are resilient to disasters and emergencies, because of course we're still going to have a lot of rainfall. It's summer season. People are still going to go out to various areas to enjoy themselves. I mean, I think right now is after 2 years, I think it will be the first festive season where people will be enjoying themselves fully without any lockdown restrictions.
Really,
So,
but you want them to be extra careful. So
exactly.
Give us the number again.
So for all the emergency, life-threatening emergencies, our residents can call us on 011-375-5911. Whereas in terms of the training, if they want us to invite us to come wherever they are to be trained in terms of these community-based programs, they can call us on 011-758-5000.
Thank you so much. You be safe out there, and good luck to your teams as well. May you all be safe, and hopefully people start to behave responsibly and in partnership with EMS. Thank you so much, Robert, for joining us. We appreciate your time. EMS Spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi.